Okay, testing, testing, 1, 2. Are we on? Testing, test. Okay. Let me bring the microphone over here. There we go. Put that back here. Can't really. Okay, stretching the wire a bit there, but okay. So I'm going to be able to talk right into the microphone here. So my last video was about, or I don't know if it was my last video. One of my videos was about my white Lifelink deck, and I have one YouTube fan, Agent Funeral, who just commented and gave me some advice. So I have this. I think I said something about having this thing about 63 cards because it's divisible by 9 and 7, but Agent Funeral has suggested that I get rid of 3 lands. He said deserts at first, and then a couple of comments between. It might be okay for me to keep the deserts and get rid of other lands, and that would bring back my deck down to the 60 recommended instead of 63, which is I seem to have this OCD thing for. So this is what we're going to do. Now, I know you really can't see this very well. It's kind of glary. My camera isn't great. But let me just bring this microphone up that way. That's way I can look up and talk and still hear. So this is what we're going to do. I'm going to go ahead and sort through. I want to look at this approach to the second sun again just to make sure that this isn't the key. Oh, I need to change these glasses. I have my computer glasses on. I need to get my reading glasses on. Okay. Okay, that's better. So, if I remember correctly, Approach to the Second Sun was the one that says if it was cast from your hand, you win the game, that sort of thing. Okay, so that's not the key to this adjustment. So we're going to go ahead and pull the lands out. And while we're pulling the lands out, I'm going to say that I'm also going to look at the camel creature that I'm going to look at other creatures to make sure that the only reason why I needed the desert land was for the camel, because I think there was another one that I thought I did. I could be wrong. So I want to make sure that going through it, looking for this. Okay, Sun-Scorched Desert, Plains, Sun-Scorched Desert, Sun-Scorched Desert. Okay. Okay. Okay, I think he's right. I think he's correct so far. I'm looking at some of these other cards, and I'm not seeing. Oh, I'm sorry. By the way, my YouTube fans, so I built my first white deck, and I had made some comments, and I mentioned that Agent Funeral was intrigued and wanted to see my deck, and so I've been sort of corresponding with him in the YouTube comment section about how to perhaps like asking his advice. And he told me he was no grandmaster or anything, but he'll try. And he did that. Oh, there's another Plains right on top here. And so it comes down to this. I got 63 cards in the deck, as you know from watching my other video. And there it is. This is the solitary camel. And we're going to read that as soon as we get through all the other lands. Plains, Plains, Plains. Okay. Plains, Painted Bluffs, Plains. Okay. Let me look at those who served. Those who served. Okay, nothing. Okay. So there it is. So I'm pretty sure, oops, I think I just turned some upside down. I'm pretty sure I have 22 lands. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, and 20. No, I got 20. Wait a minute. 1, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. I thought I had 22. At least that's what I led Agent Funeral to believe. Let me look through these again. Oh, yeah, there's 1, 2. There's 2 I missed. Okay, I knew I had 22. I'm all right, no matter what they say about me. Okay, so if I was going to get rid of any lands, I prefer having the deserts, but so the Painted Bluffs is regular, but I could also pay a mana and add any color. Okay, so there's nothing special about this particular desert. It's just Painted Bluffs. Let me see. I don't know if you can see this or not, but I'm not going to go through any great pains and try to make you see it. One of these days, I'm going to get a new camera. Let me see if I can get that glare out of there. There we go. Yeah, one of these days I'll get a much better camera. I don't have to go through this pain. So this is okay. I think this one's okay to keep, because it is a desert and it gives me that opportunity. Let me go ahead and read the Solitary Camel. Solitary Camel says, Solitary Camel has lifelink as long as you control a desert or there is a desert card in your graveyard. So my idea is that I really wanted as many deserts as I can stuff into this deck without going, crazy. So if I'm going to get rid of any lands, and he had suggested that you can keep the deserts and get rid of a couple of lands. So let's take a look at all the deserts, and if there's any desert in here, which I think there is, with a specific problem that is, some kind of thing that you have to pay or something, I'll get rid of that one first. Okay, that's the true plains. Okay, so other than the Painted Bluffs, which doesn't seem to be anything more than a slightly different than a basic land, let's take a look at the Desert of the True. Desert of the True enters the battlefield tapped. So I've never played this game, but I think that means that I can't use this right away. But there's cycling on this as well. So if I pay one white and one any, I can discard this card and draw a card. So that might be a plus, and I guess the minus on this card would be the fact that it enters the thing tapped. Okay, I'll put that aside for a minute. The Sun-Scorched Deserts, I specifically put all 4 that I've owned. I got 4 of them. Because this is what they say. When Sun-Scorched Desert enters the battlefield, it deals 1 damage to target player. I'm not going to give that up. I want that. So, it's like every time I play a land, take a point off your score, Chief. Take a point off your score, Chief. Take a point off your score, Chief. Take a point. It's like, it's only 4 total, but I want to have the opportunity, because you're not necessarily going to pull all 4 of them anyway. But I want to have that opportunity to be able to deal some damage just by playing a land. On my turn, I play a land. Boom, take a point off. So I think the idea that the Sun-Scorched Desert is a cool card, even if it's just a little, kind of a giggle card. So I'm not going to take any of those out. If I was going to take any desert out, it would be the one that enters the battlefield tapped. and you know, or I could take both of these out in one planes. So I've got 63 cards, and I want to go to the recommended 60, and go to the recommendations of Agent Funeral. So I could simply take 2 whites out. You know, how many whites do I actually have? 4, 5, 6. I think if it's 22, 4. I think I have 16 planes. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. Yeah, I have 16 planes. So, I mean, if I were to leave all the deserts in and take out the planes, take out 3 planes, would that be enough? I think he mentioned, how many creatures do I have? He actually said how many I have, and I don't even remember now. So I've got the camels, 1. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, I have 18, 19 creatures. 19 creatures. Usually you even up the lands with the creatures. But then again, what is the actual mana on those? Like this one, the compulsory rest is an enchantment. Let me see. Alright, so we got 2 any and 1 white. Yeah, I could see where I wouldn't need as many as the actual whites. Impeccable timing, 1 and 1. Alright, 1 white, 1 any. Yeah, I mean, I could get rid of... Yeah, so he suggests that I simply have 1919. That sounds right to me. Well, I don't know anything about cycling, and from what I hear on all the YouTube videos is that cycling is some kind of cool thing to do. So I think I'll keep the cyclers, the 1 cycler I have. I think if I'm going to bring this deck down to 60 cards, maybe I should just get rid of 3 planes and keep the deserts as Agent Funeral suggested in the second part of his comment. You know, he says you could even keep the deserts and just, you know, get rid of some of the basics. So let's just to be cool, let's keep all the full arts. I like the full arts just to make the deck look cool, so let's keep those. And we'll get rid of like 3 of the planes that you know, just to be the art lover. I have a lot of these particular ones, so we'll definitely get rid of... Yeah, I got 4 of those just for the art part of it. Oh, I got 5 of those. I got 6 of those. Okay, we're definitely going to get rid of 3 of those. So we'll get rid of 3 of the ones that they're actually Amonkhet's. 3 Amonkhet lands. Just to take Agent Funeral's advice. These are the 3 Amonkhet lands that have the same artwork, and I've got 3 others in the deck. So just to make it purty. So we're going to go down to the 60 cards to have the exact recommended 60 card deck. And by doing that, we're going to be getting rid of 3 basic land planes. Thank you, Agent Funeral. Thank you, YouTube fans. I hope you enjoyed this video. Now, the next thing I have to do is to actually try the deck out. So my local game store is practically begging me to come and play a few games. And I'm like, somebody's got to teach me, you know. I'm like, I'm scared shitless, you know. I'm an old man who's going to be playing cards with a bunch of kids, you know. But they're pretty adamant about don't be afraid to, you know, ask and all that stuff. They're really cool people there. I really like them. I don't really know them very well yet, but so you know, and I told them already, and I mentioned this on the other video, that I certainly don't want to interfere with their regular game night on Fridays for them to take their time out to teach an old fart like me how to play the damn game. So they said weekends are good, but we'll see. Maybe the middle of the week. Maybe you know, I'll go there with this deck and I'll ask, you know, if I'll give them a call. They gave me their card. I called them once already, and I'll say, would it be a good idea if I come down tonight and maybe somebody there to sort of teach me? And I'll bring my deck and we'll see what happens and we'll test it out. So this deck has not been actually tested, except for pulling out the card, you know, pulling out a hand, that sort of test, you know, alone, you know, home alone test kind of thing, which I'm going to do right now while I got you on the camera. Yeah, so we're going to cut this deck, and we're going to pull 7 cards and see if we get a viable hand even after removing 3 lands. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Put that aside, and so what we get? Well, I'm going to turn them to face me, even though they're upside down for you. So even after removing 3 planes, in this hand I got 3 planes, an enchantment, I got another land, desert, an instant, and the 1 creature, the camel. I got the hand that I wanted to play, right? So I throw down the desert, you know, my first hand, my first turn, I go ahead and throw down Sunscorched Desert, right? It's a, you know, it's a little bit much on the lands, but it's a viable hand. Let's try a couple more shuffles and see if that works again. So we'll try this out 2 or 3 times, and just to make sure that. But obviously, even after removing 3 lands, Agent Funeral must be right. Even after removing 3 lands, I pulled up 4 lands on my first hand. So, you know, it's possible that this little fetish of the number 63 of mine is just silly, and I shouldn't keep it. But then again, that was the first try, so let's go ahead and shuffle a couple more times. Let's go ahead and cut the deck. All right. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. We have the Trial of Solidarity. We have a land, a plains. We have, you know, Ketra's Name. Oh wait, wasn't that one of the ones? Yeah, all zombies you control get +2/+1 until you're in turn. That's cool. Okay. We did get Approach of the Second Sun, which is not a card that can be played right away because it's got a 7 mana cost. Just let me show that to you if I can. I think you might be able to see that 7 mana cost on that. Okay. But it's one of those, just one of the 2 cards of the Approach of the Second Sun that I wanted to try and see if I can get a play in it. I did get a creature, and I got 2 creatures. So I got a zombie and a cat, both of which are very beginning, and I got the Impeccable Timing. Impeccable Timing deals 3 damage to the target attacking or blocking creature. So this is one of my key cards in this deck, you know, the lifelink deck that I called it, even though it's lifelink / kill the other opponent just by throwing it out an instant. But in any case, Out of the 2 creatures I got, they are a 1 mana and a 2 mana. So I can play these on the next turn. Okay, so if it was my turn right now, I would definitely play, for example, I did not get the desert in this particular hand, but I definitely got a plains, right? Let me see, 1 plain. Yeah, unfortunately, I only got one mana in this hand, so I'm going to go ahead and play it. I'm not going to do that mulligan thing. Let's see if this works. So I go ahead and play that, and I pass my turn. The other person goes, he plays a land and passes his turn. I take a card. Okay, I got a compulsory rest. I cannot play a mana. So now this is a hand where losing the 3 lands might not be a good thing. But in order to get rid of a card out of my hand, I have to play something. So I'm going to go ahead and tap the 1 card that I got and play this creature, the Sacred Cat. Okay. It's got lifelink. Okay. And I pass my turn, and he goes, and just for the sake of argument, say that he can't do anything either, just to see if I can draw the right cards in the next turn. I got 6 cards in my hand, so it's my turn. I untap, and I draw a card, and I did get a creature. I've got Dutiful Servant, so but that's a 4 mana, so I won't be able to play that for a while. And unfortunately, I got too many cards in my hand. So this hand isn't exactly working right. So, and again, since I've never played before, I don't remember how this works. If I end up with more than 7 cards in my hand, I have to discard some. So, well, let's play this out one more time. Do I have anything I can play with 1 mana? No, I can't. So let's discard the Approach of the Second Sun. That's the foil one, by the way, just for the sake of getting rid of a card, and see what happens when I pull another card sometime in my next turn. And I did pull a land on the next one, so I don't know. And just it's hard to say. I mean, I could have mulliganed. I could have, it's the luck of the draw. The next you know what? The next 3 cards were lands. So part of this is luck. Part of it is the luck of the draw and the shuffle or the non-good shuffle. So I'm going to say that was just a bad shuffle. And I still think it's okay. I still think there's enough lands in here. It was just a matter of a bad shuffle. Maybe I should have mulliganed. Me not being a good player yet. I'm a beginner, novice. Haven't even played a real game yet. Probably just drew a bad hand or drew a slow hand or something to that effect. So let's do it one more time and end this video. So thank you, Agent Funeral, for your advice, and I'm going to put those lands back into my store of cards to be used in the future. And I'm going to take this 60 card deck soon, within this week perhaps, if I'm lucky, to my local gaming store and ask them to teach me something. And they're going to go ahead and cut. Three, 4, 5, 6, and 7. And we got a Trial of Solidarity. We got a Painted Bluffs. We got a Divine Verdict. I like that card. 4 mana. Destroy target attacking or blocking creature. Guilty. Okay. We've got a Gustwalker creature. So this time we're picking up more creatures. We got a 2 mana creature. And another 2 mana creature. And another Gustwalker 2 mana creature. So we got 3 creatures so far. And impeccable timing. So we got 1 Painted Bluffs. Okay, so if it was my turn, I would play the land, pass my turn. Next turn, I draw a card. It's impeccable timing. Once again, I can't play anything though. See, it's happening again. 6, 7. So what do I do? What happens when this happens? Yeah, I'm I'm just not sure about this. I'm just not sure about this. I've got 2 impeccable timings here. Alright, so he goes and he passes his turn, and now I already have 7 cards. No, I only have 6. So I have 7 cards in my hand. So how do I do this? How does that work? Am I allowed to draw a card first? And then then the opponent says, you've got 8 cards in your hand, you need to drop one? Or am I allowed to play a card and say that sort of thing? In this case, either way, it doesn't matter because I have to draw, because I have nothing to play. So I would have to drop a card. So I choose to drop this card into the graveyard. And I have to pass my turn. I can't play anything. Just for the sake of argument, the other person's having just as bad luck. Passes his turn. I go. I draw a card. And it's finally the Plains. Okay, so I play the Plains. I got 2 mana. I can play something. If he was, let me see. Okay, I'm just sort of playing a fake game here. It's no big deal. But I think the only creature I could play would be the Gustwalker, which I have 2 of. So, okay, so I would say, okay, I'm going to play Gustwalker. And pass my turn. That sort of thing. And I end up with 6 cards in my hand. He goes. He attacks me. Say he attacks, and I can't block, or I can block. Yeah. So he attacks me, and I might have a card here. I might have an instant here that says, no, you can't do that. Yeah, I can. No, I don't have. So I don't even have any mana to play that card, so I can't even do that. So I'll take the damage. I won't block. I'll take the damage, and he deals something like 2 damage to me or something like that. My turn. I untap. I take a card, and I've got a 2 mana compulsory rest enchantment. Again, I'm not getting the lands. Okay, let's see how fast. Let me see if I can do this fast. Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and pay the 2 mana, and enchant one of his attacking creature that he attacked me with before. He can't attack anymore unless he blows that away somehow, and he does whatever he does, passes his turn. It's my turn again. I untap, whatever, and pull a card. Is it going to be a land? No. See, I don't know, Agent Funeral. I'm just not picking up the lands here. And here they are. 3 cards down. There's 2 more there. And then there's a catcher's name, and then there's another one. And then there's 2 more creatures or enchantments. And then there's, yeah, I'm sorry, you know, something tells me that I really need, and finally after 4 or 6 cards, I finally get 2 more planes. It could have been a bad shuffle. Yeah, there's a Sunscorched Desert. 2 more cards later, there's 2 more planes. It could have been a bad shuffle. But somehow, I think, okay, let's go ahead and extend this video. Let's go ahead and see what happens if I didn't pull out those cards and I kept the 63 cards in my hand. I know this is going to be a long video and you're just watching me play with myself. But it just seems to me that perhaps 63 is the right number for this particular deck with the extra 3 lands. So I pulled out 2 planes. No, I had pulled out 3 planes. So let's try this with the 3 planes back in there. And if this doesn't work out as well, we'll pull them back out again. Maybe I'll pull out 1 or 2 instead of 3. I'm going to pause this video for a split second. Okay, so where was I? The whole thing was that I was afraid that I wasn't going to pull enough lands, especially the deserts, in order to make this deck work, which is why I had added the extra 3, and I got this fetish with this number 63 instead of 60. But let's see. Maybe, it could just be I'm just unlucky. Let's continue this video with this testing of this deck. And again, of course, obviously, I'm passing over the other person's turn as if he's not doing anything, But the whole idea here is to test the draw ability of this deck. I will then later on learn, playing against somebody for real, the other side of the story. But right now I'm testing the draw ability. I need to be able to play lands. I need to be able to draw the lands and play them every turn. That's my idea as far as the lifelink and the being able to have the lands to play. The desert's on the board in order for the camel to finally come up and say, as long as you control a desert, that sort of thing. But if I'm not pulling the lands, I'm not even able to play. And that goes for anybody, regardless of the type of deck you have. So for some reason, I have this thing about the number 63. 63 is divisible by both 9 and 7. The factors of 63 are 9 and 7. And, you draw 7 cards. And, every turn. Every start of the game, you draw 7 cards. 7 out of the, that means you can literally draw 9 hands out of the card, out of the deck. That sort of thing. So that was my idea. And of course, I'm such a novice that that's probably silly to some of the professionals. They all talk about this 60 card deck and all that. But let's just see what happens. Now that I got 63 cards back into the deck, re-adding the 3 planes. 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay, now it almost seems like I have too many. Yeah, I got 1, 2, Three lands. Approach of the Second Sun sorcery. Impeccable timing instant. Catcher's name instant. And one creature. Okay, so let's see how this will work. On my turn, I play a land. I pass my turn. He goes. He plays the land, whatever. And my turn, I draw a card. I play a land, and it happens to be the desert I just pulled. I still got a lot of lands in my hand. Can I play a card? I can play a zombie. Yeah, let's do that. Let's play a zombie, tap the 2 lands. Pass my turn. He goes. Pretending that he can't do anything either, even though he probably could, Passes his turn. I untap, pick a card, and it's another impeccable timing. I go ahead and play another land. You see, I also need enough lands to play this Approach of the Second Sun. That's a 7 mana cost. Yeah, I think I'm going to have to test this deck out with all 63 cards before I decide to pull any lands out. Okay, so I pass. I don't do anything else. Yeah, I'm just gonna go through this real quick. So he or she goes, does whatever he or she does. Maybe he attacks me, and I'd say, yeah, okay. So say he attacks me, and I throw an instant down. This is a 2 mana instant. There's one of white and one of any. So I go ahead and tap 2 whites and say, you're dead anyway, whatever. So that goes down, and he or she passes his turn. I untap, pick a card. Okay, and I still have a plains in my hand, but it's I did not pick up a land. I picked up an instant, but I'm gonna go ahead and play another land. And this is what I got so far. So I've got 4 on the board already. See, to me, this is, it's a little sloppy, but it's working better to me than not having those 3 extra lands in there. So I think what I'm going to do, maybe I should get rid of 1 and give it the number 62. Yeah, I'm gonna take your advice, Agent Funeral, with a grain of salt, and I think I may not get rid of 3 lands. I may get rid of 1 or 2. I think you said that, actually. I think you actually said you can get rid of 1 or 2 lands. Perhaps not all 3. Perhaps the 61 is a better number than 63. I don't know. But perhaps I shouldn't get rid of 3 lands. Perhaps I should get rid of a land and 2 other cards, or 2 lands and 1 other card, something to that effect. But for now, I think I want to test this 63 card deck out, and then decide after the real test. And I definitely want to take your advice, Agent Funeral, but I think it's too soon to remove any cards. I have to see what needs to be removed first. I have a feeling that there's probably 1 too many land in here, but there's probably also 1 too many something else in here as well. So we'll figure that out. But thank you again, and I'm sorry that this video took a little longer than I expected it to. I'm just trying to come up with some nonchalant, spur of the moment, spontaneous content for my YouTube. And this Magic the Gathering thing is just one of those things that I can do. And sorry about the shitty camera quality, by the way. We'll work on that too. Thank you for watching. Please subscribe and go ahead and comment, advise me, just as Age of Funeral has, and enjoy gaming. Thank you very much.